I'm Brooklyn with The Advisor Life, which is all about the day in the life of a financial advisor. And I'm super excited to show you guys something that came in the mail. Normally I would not splurge on something like this, but I am obsessed with tea. It's kind of a problem. So the most money I've ever spent on tea at one time was $100 when my husband let me go to World Market and pick and choose all of their specialty teas. And that was a big splurge. I was like, oh my gosh, we spent $100 on something. Advisors are actually pretty frugal, by and large, I would say. But this time I splurged even more than that because this tea company is from France, which is a soft spot in my heart. And we actually had an amazing time visiting their, what do you call it? Like a restaurant and a tea shop in Paris. There was one in our neighborhood, and I'll post some pictures about kind of the vibes of the restaurant. It felt very much like a 1920s Havana feel, which was so much fun. So the coolest part about visiting Mariage Frères in Paris is that their restaurant is all tea themed. Every dish is infused with tea in some magnificent way. It was really special because they had bao burgers, which I had never heard of before, but it's basically a bao bun and it's a burger in the middle, and they make the burgers from different things. They'll have a vegetarian burger made from, it's not an Impossible burger, but it's made from all natural plant-based ingredients. And then they had other different kinds of burgers, but the tops of the bao buns were sprinkled with tea instead of sesame. And the dressing on the salad, the side salad, was a tea-infused dressing. And they have a series of books that you can purchase about tea, one of which is a cookbook of tea recipes. Not for making tea, but for making recipes that use tea, like they did in their restaurant. So that was such a unique experience. Of all the restaurants we visited, probably the only one from the whole trip that was better was our Mariage dinner, because that was an award-winning restaurant in the south of France. It was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like they were #1 restaurant in the world in 2019, I believe. So that was on a whole nother level. But if you're visiting Paris, or just a Mariage Frères tea place, and they happen to have a place to eat, I would highly recommend it. It was amazing. By far my favorite Paris restaurant, I would say. And we actually went back later that week. Their menu was fairly small, but we had to go back just because of how cool it was and how great the food was and how much I love tea made it even more special. And they had books, so there's that. Highly recommend. And I'm going to show you some of the teas that they have. They had this line during the summer, was kind of like their specialty summer teas. So we have a Rio Summer, which is red tea and acai. So it's like a green tea with like a fruity mint flavor. So that's like nice and refreshing. This one was definitely my favorite. So I ordered this with lunch, and they served it in this massive wine glass. It was so big. I think it was like 60 ounces for a glass, and they served it over ice because I wanted it cold. So in this Tokyo summer tea, it's just a green tea with yuzu. So very light, very refreshing. I love it. And it always makes me feel calm and lighthearted. It's really wonderful. And then this one I had to order. It's pink cactus. I had never tried pink cactus before, but the flavor profile is like a red tea with a fruity fragrance. So it's actually nice. My first time to try it was when we got home from a trip, and I was feeling like a little stopped up in my nose, so I had taken Robitussin earlier that day. And then I came home and opened this box of Mariage Frères tea, and I tried the pink cactus one that night, and it kind of tasted like Robitussin, a little. Maybe I sweetened it too much, but that is the flavor of pink cactus for you. And then this one is Casablanca, which is a Moroccan mint green tea, and it has bergamot in it. Bergamot's actually one of my favorite flavors, which is why I splurged on that one. But these tea canisters are super cool. So they're glass, and they have this kind of a rubbed glass stopper, and then it's all loose leaf tea. So when you order these, it comes with a tea bag where you spoon in as much tea as you want, and then you fold over the top. And it actually doesn't leak out. I tried it because I was kind of skeptical. Usually I just do tea that are already in bags, but it worked out pretty well. Okay, so the reason we ordered, we splurged and got these is not only to commemorate our wonderful Paris experience at Mariage Frères, which I should say the name of Mariage Frères is the name of the company, but Mariage is the name of the family that started the company, and frère means brothers in French, it's plural. So Mariage Frères means the Mariage Brothers company. So that was pretty cool. And the other thing that we got, the reason we splurged on this now is because they have a special holiday tea package, which I had to order because my family has a thing about advent calendars. My grandma started it and she has already gifted us this year's advent calendar, and she dropped this off the other week. And this year it is a little family doing their holiday preparations. And so the doors are numbered, and we'll open it up and like discover what they're doing, what they're making and eating and stuff, which is fun. And I had already ordered myself this tea advent calendar, which is super cool. It was like, okay, so these are like 35 euros each, which is a bit of a splurge, but I really like the canisters. I'm hoping it'll keep them fresh for longer. And I would never find something like this in the United States. The other thing we got is this advent calendar, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at this. Not only is it like gold here, but the color of the green is like one I've never seen before. It's not that like a boring Christmas green that you see everywhere, but it's also not like a gross color. Anyway, it looks like a book, which is also a huge plus in my book. And then it has this little ribbon which ties on the side. So I'm gonna open it up here. Ah! And it has their quote, which says, I'm kind of roughly translating here, "The perfume of adventure and of poetry pervades each cup of tea infinitely," if I'm translating that correctly, which I find that quite catching. So if you look here, they have the different doors, which starting with the first one, I'll open that on December 1st, and there is a tea bag in here, and I can try a different tea every day, which if you ever see me on like a Zoom call with my clients, I will have a cup that looks remarkably like this one right here, and I have the same one in blue. My mom gave them to me and my husband for Christmas, and this is always filled with tea. I have to water it down because I wear Invisalign only for 3 more months, hopefully. But I have to water it down so it doesn't stain my Invisalign and then stain my teeth. So I love my tea, but I've been watering it down for like the past 18 months. So I'm super excited to be done with that and be fully enjoying my tea. There are 3 more kinds of tea that we got. They are these in the black canisters here. And these are cheaper. My husband picked one. He chose this chai tea, which normally you think of chai and you're like, yes, I can identify that flavor profile. But this one's much deeper and richer of a chai. I would say it tastes more authentic. A lot of chai teas have kind of been Americanized. But this one has more of like an orange kind of flavor in the background. Like it just makes the spices, I don't know, play out more. And so when I had my cold tea at the restaurant, he had his hot tea in a little teapot, which was really cool. So he wanted this one. And then I picked 2 teas from their blue tea set. So kind of like they have this series of summer teas. These are not all the summer teas. They have a lot more. You can go to their website and order whatever you want. Similar to how they had a line of summer teas, they had a line of blue teas, which I had never heard of blue tea before. So I was like, what is this? It's like green tea, except instead of being green, it's blue. And I was like, okay, blue tea, never heard of this. What is this all about? So I got 2 different kinds to try it. We have the Rushka blue tea. So I'm guessing this is like a Russian. It says blue tea, Russian blue tea made from blue flowers. And this has kind of like a coconut undertone, I would say. And the leaves look to be kind of the bigger that are rolled up into balls. I would expect them to be unfurling as the tea brews and making a bigger leaves. But this one is special. This is Magic Orchid. I was like, okay, orchid tea, I have to try this. And as soon as we got this box of teas, I called my renter down at like 10 o'clock at night, and we brewed a pot of tea and shared it together, and we made this blue one. And I'm looking in here for, if I could show you, there are actually orchid flowers. I don't know if you can see that. There are like orchid flowers in the tea, and I think that's what gives it its blue color, or at least this one. And this one, another reason I like it is that it smells salty. It says silky blue tea with a sensual aroma of orchid, but to me it smells salty. I mean, there's fruit there, but it has more of a salty smell. And so when we tried it, I was like, does it taste salty? And it kind of does, but it's not in a bad way. It kind of enhances the flavor. So I have made a special pot of this Magic Orchid blue tea, and I'm going to show you what happens when you brew it, what the color looks like. And then there is an extra magical thing that I want to show you. But first we'll start with the tea. I freshly brewed this, so it's like piping hot. So I put ice in the cup so hopefully the glasses don't shatter. And let's see how it goes. Okay, so you can tell it's definitely a blue color. I want to show you what happens when I squeeze a little bit of lemon in here. And this is what I had to pick up, kind of trying to roughly speak French with the poor French girl in the Mariage Frères shop. I was like, I looked them up on Instagram and I saw that they had this picture where they had all of the blue teas, and they had some that were purpler, like a purplish pinkish color. And I was like, how did you get that? Like, are these different kinds of blue teas? Like, can you show me the order of the tea in color so that I can make a rainbow like you made? And she was like, no, they're all blue tea. You just squeeze lemon in it, and the lemon changes the color of the tea. So I want to go ahead and try it and see if we can get this to turn a different color. This is so cool, you guys. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell. This one, actually these look about the same. So I did 2 lemons, lemon wedges squeezed in this one, only 1 in here, and then I left this one completely alone. But I want to kind of make a hue rainbow, so I'm going to add just a small touch of the lemon in that one, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that one's a little bit darker purple. So you can see it's going from pink to lighter pink, kind of to a purpley color. So that's really fun, playing around with blue tea. It's a fun experience. So check out Mariage Frères, subscribe to them on Instagram because they're really cool to watch as they come out with new products. And this video is not sponsored by Mariage Frères, I just do it because I love tea. So if you like tea, I hope you share this video with someone.